If you're new to the metal roofing world or purchasing your first metal roof, the number of unique components and features can be a lot to take in. Today we'll look at the pieces and parts that make up exposed fastener metal roofing and standing seam metal roofing systems. What's up guys, welcome to the Metal Roofing channel. I'm Thad Barnett, and make sure you subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell. We release metal roofing and metal construction content every Monday and Wednesday. Today we are talking metal roofing components, broken up into three different categories: the roof design, the materials, and the accessories. Here we see a typical standing seam metal roof, which is a system that uses mostly hidden fasteners. Note that how much the roof is angled in relation to a level surface is referred to as slope. Each section of the roof that changes slope, direction, or orientation is called a roof plane. This house has a gable roof, which means the two roof planes go up and over the house and end at a wall. Let's take a closer look at the roof plane on the front of the house and learn about a few common flashing zones, which are critical areas that require specific installation processes and often special trim pieces to make them weathertight. This is an eave, which is typically the roof's lowest horizontal edge. A rake is the slanting edge of the gable wall. Both eaves and rakes are considered to be perimeter trim and utilize metal bent to form a drip edge intended to encourage water to drain away from the building's walls. A standing seam metal roof employs bends in each panel to hook onto the eave. An exposed fastener roof is installed with each panel overhanging the eave with a molded foam closure to stop up any gaps. The top of the roof, where the two planes meet, is called the peak or the ridge. The metal trim that covers the peak is a ridge cap. An exposed fastener system again uses molded foam closures to fill in the gaps between the panels and the ridge cap, while a standing seam system uses a bent piece of trim called a Z closure to connect the panels to the ridge cap. The ridge is also where you'll often find a ventilation system employed. Ventilation allows a building's attic space to breathe while regulating temperature and fighting against condensation. The most common type of ventilation system allows air to enter through the overhangs underneath the eaves, called soffits, and exit through vents in the ridge. Another standard flashing zone is a valley. This is an area where two roof planes meet, and water is intended to drain down the valley off the building. A different roof type is a hip roof. Instead of the roof plane ending at a gable wall, all sides of a hip roof slope downwards towards the walls. Hips are installed similarly to ridges. Some other common flashing zones are head walls and side walls, where a roof plane meets a wall, pipe penetrations, where a rubber pipe boot is often installed, and square penetrations like skylights and chimneys. Metal materials for roofing are manufactured into coils and sheets, which are then bent into the final panels and trim to be installed on a building. The most common metal material for roofing is steel, which is measured by gauge. The higher the number, the thinner the material. For example, exposed fastener metal roofing often uses 29 gauge steel, while standing seam metal roofing typically uses thicker material, 26 gauge or 24 gauge. The steel is processed with a specialized coating to help prevent corrosion and protect it from the elements before it's painted. These coatings, such as galvanized and galvalume, employ combinations of different materials that offer superior weatherability and self-healing properties. Aluminum is another common metal material used for roofing, and although it is generally more expensive than steel, it offers better corrosion resistance around coastal and saltwater environments. Aluminum is measured in inches, with standard thicknesses ranging from 0.32 to 0.63. That's 0.032 inches to 0.063 inches. There are other metal materials used for roofing, such as copper, zinc, and stainless steel, but these are very high-end materials and come with a price tag to match. Let's look at a brief overview of some standard accessories that go into exposed fastener metal roofing and standing seam metal roofing. Installation of an exposed fastener metal roof first requires an underlayment, a barrier material that is applied to maintain a water-resistant or waterproof environment under the roofing metal. I already mentioned foam closures earlier in the video. They are molded to perfectly match the panel type being installed so they can effectively stop up any gaps that occur in areas like the eave and ridge. Tape sealant and gun caulk sealant are used as a secondary defense in various flashing zones and other critical spots of the install. The fasteners used to attach the metal panels to the roof are generally hex head screws with a neoprene washer designed to stop water intrusion. Vent pipes use another accessory called a pipe boot to protect the penetration from the elements. Standing seam metal roofs use some of the same accessories, such as underlayment, tape and gun caulk sealant, and rubber pipe boots. But a unique item for most standing seam assemblies is a clip. Clips hook onto one side of the panel and are fastened to the roof using screws, which are then hidden by the next panel on the roof, thus making it a hidden fastener system. On a side note, I say most standing seam assemblies use clips because there is a common hidden fastener residential system that does not use clips, called a nail flange panel. It relies on the screw heads themselves to hold down the panel, as they are fastened directly to slots in the metal. Well, there you go. Metal roofing components ranging from roof design to materials to accessories. If you want to learn more, subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. We have tons of videos that go into detail about everything we talked about today and more. Comment down below if you have any questions. As always, I'm Thad Barnett, and I'll catch you next time.